Hello everyone, and welcome to a Code Realize video. We are in chapter 2 of Finis's Route. This is kind of the alternate story to the Code Realize ending in the first game. Code Realize is the term for a project that Finis has been working on, and in the first game, Lupin found out about it and he was plotting against it, and this is kind of like the alternate route when she doesn't go down any of their routes. But if you missed the first episode of Finis, or if you need to watch the first game, I'll link that at the end of this video. We have taken Finis's hand and we are at the cathedral where Twilight's headquarters is, and Idea has set some apostles into motion to stop these two twins from bringing calamity to the world. Vivid colors paint the walls and floors from the moonlight that pours in through the stained glass. Mesmerized by the scenes projected upon the interior, our footsteps echo throughout the majestic cathedral as I walk alongside Finis after our return to London. I never imagined that Twilight's headquarters was in the center of London.
盲点だったかね。下手にこそこそと隠れるよりも、大胆に構える方が意外と気づかれないものさ。このセントポール大聖堂は表向き事故が起きて立ち入り禁止となっていてね。聖なる祭礼の場に英国の闇たる我々が今日構えているとは、なんとも皮肉が効いているだろう。
I can just imagine the Twilight trailing Lupin, grinding his teeth in vexation if he were to ever catch wind of this. In any event, after Alistair's comment, I quietly come to a stop. I came all this way. Isn't it about time to tell me, Finis? Where is Father now? What are you trying to accomplish? Silence. There's so much I want to ask Father. Why he left me alone in that house, why he gave me this poison-filled body, and why he created us in the image of his own children.
姉さん、もう少し落ち着いたらどう？別に僕はここから逃げたりしないよ。
Annoyance. That's his expression in a nutshell. He didn't say anything in particular to communicate that feeling, but it's evident that he's tired of my barrage of questions. At this rate, he'll just continue to sidestep the discussion and ultimately end up not telling me a thing. Those sorts of baseless anxieties have been hounding me, but surprisingly, it's his right-hand man who brushes those away.
そう言うな、フィニス。彼女の言う通り、ここまで来たら私にも詳しく教えてほしいものだね。秘密主義も構わないが、事情を一切知らぬままでは動きづらい。多少は情報をもらえるとありがたいね。
Finis knits his brow at Alistair's words and opens his mouth in annoyance.
手足が余計なことを考える必要なんてないと思うけどね。まあいいや。一応約束は約束だ。順番に教えてあげるよ。まず、父様がどこにいて何をしているのか。父様は今、深い深い眠りについていてね。その眠りを覚ますことが僕の目的だ。そして父様がその眠りからもう一度復活するためには、姉さんの持つホロロギウムが必要になる。
深い眠りからもう一度復活か。まるで聖人の奇跡のような物言いだね。
正しいんじゃない？父様の肉体はすでに滅びた。人間で言うと死んだってことになるのかな。
What? Such a simple word, yet such a shocking word. Father died. Without so much as reacting to my shock, Finis only gives a nod.
だけど悲しむ必要はないよ。 父様にとっての肉体なんて知の探求を妨げるただの檻に過ぎない。ホロロギウムが完成さえすれば、天才科学者アイザック・ベックフォードは新たな器を得て目覚めるんだからね。
It took me a moment to process the fact that father had already passed away, but I have trouble understanding how Finis was able to say those words so lightly, so casually, as a topic of discussion. People have but one life to even consider reviving the dead. Is that possible? No, even if it is, would it be right?
していいかだって。父様は常に正しいんだ。僕や姉さんが考えることじゃないよ。
I knit my brows to his words. I too have a desire to meet father. Father for whom I had waited for so long in the dreary darkness by my lonesome to one day return to me. I long for his big, gentle hand upon my head that I knew so well from my memories. I want to hear him call my name with his gentle voice. But if all I've heard so far is correct, that experiment was by father's hands. The source of my body is poisoned. The source of 665 failures piled atop of each other. The source of our creation as replacements of his lost children. It's all by father's hands. Then I...
どうしたの姉さん。まさか父様の復活に協力するのが嫌とは言わないよね。姉さんを生み出して愛してまでくれた父様を悲しませたりしないよね。
Cold rancor begins to bubble at the edges of Finis's words. The oppressive atmosphere is palpable when suddenly... Oh my goodness.
さすがは我が永遠の死、アイザック先生。
Just turn my headphones down a bit now. I hate this guy so much.
科学の心が不滅なのと同様、先生も不滅ということだね。
The vibration of his emotional-filled shout breaks apart the atmosphere along with our eardrums. It's been a while since we last met, but I never forget a voice like that. A voice wholly unique, too. I remember you from the Black Gathering. Nemo, was it?
惜しい。実に惜しい。以前より近づいたが、それでは及第点は与えられないね。
Say it again.
それでは、改めて名乗ろうではないか。My name is Nemo!
It's not long and drawn out.
科学と書いてネモと読む、ネモと書いて科学と読む。そう覚えておきたまえ。
I'm pretty sure that would make it even more difficult to remember.
ネモ君は一度科学という言葉に謝った方がいいのではないかね。
What is Nemo doing in Twilight headquarters? Is he a Twilight soldier? I looked at Finis, compelled to ask him. He clicks his tongue with a face of displeasure, the likes of which I've never seen before.
そこのそれは今回の計画に協力してる科学者だ。
Well, I guess Finis doesn't like him.
あれが開発しているとあるものは父様復活の要となる代物でね。黄昏がダミーの財団を通じて資金と技術を提供してやってるわけさ。
そう、その通り。やはり見るものは見ているということなのだよ。この私の生み出す科学の輝きよ。そして天才性を。
I can't put my finger on it. By all rights, he shouldn't share a single similarity with him. but I can't help but be reminded of a little of Impy.
見ての通り変態ではあるけど、一応父様の復活にあれの協力は不可欠なんだ。救いがたい変態ではあるけど。
Twice, yes. I look away from Nemo, who has stuck a vaguely artistic pose, and he continues to talk loud and shrill. Then my gaze returns to them once more. The evil true.
ホムンクルスとはいえ、アイザック先生の秘蔵物である以上は先生の子供と言えなくもない。ならば特別にお兄ちゃんと呼ぶことを許してあげようじゃないかね。
Yeah, we'll pass.
アイザック先生の子供イコール私にとっても弟と妹みたいなものだからね。
アレスター、こいつはもう殺しても構わないんじゃない？言動が危機開会にも程があるよ。
気持ちはよくわかるが落ち着きたまえ。対局を担うためにはこういった輩も使わねばならないのだよ。
Finis, Alistair, Nemo, and the Twilight soldiers that obey them. These are the ones trying to revive Father. With the sighs of to reset the conversation back to where it began, Finis directs his eyes at me.
協力してもらうよ、姉さん。僕たちはこれからホロロギウムを完成させ、父様の復活を目指す。たとえどんな邪魔が入り、どれだけの犠牲を払おうともね。
Is that the purpose of Twilight? Lupin told me that he came to London to stop a horrifying terrorist plan that Twilight is advancing. If this is the plan that he was referring to, then Lupin and the others will definitely come here to put a stop to it.
たかがコソ泥一味に一体何ができるっていうのさ。奴らの存在なんて取るに足らないね。むしろ警戒すべきはイデア。歴史の管理者を名乗る狂人たちだ。
Coincidentally, Saint Germain's one of those thieves. Idea. Something in the back of my mind is brought to my memory once more. That's right, it was.
ああ、これは失礼。自己紹介が遅れました。私の名はサンジェルマン。ああ、それよりもイデアの使徒。そういえばご理解していただけますか？
I'm pretty sure he opened his eyes during that. Wasn't that what Saint Germain called himself at Fallow's underground research facility?
ほほう、君はひょっとしてイデアの使徒に会ったのかね。私も最近知ったのだが、奴らこそはアイザック先生の敵。先生が最も警戒されていた連中。予言などという非科学的なものに従って歴史の裏で暗躍してきた無知猛獰なる輩なのだよ。無知猛獰かは知らないが、イデアが黄昏の情報網をもってしても全容がつかめない謎の組織なのは確かだ。フィーニスの言う通り、彼らが歴史を管理する存在ならば必ずや計画の障害となるだろうね。
Plan to revive Father advanced by Twilight. The ideas, apostles that may come to impede it, and Lupin who had been after Twilight all along. If this were in the past, I doubt I'd have hesitated at all in working with Twilight. But now that I know about my birth, I'm starting to question my father's ambitions. So what should I do? As I stare down, unable to reconcile my emotions, Nemo peers into my face with a jolly expression.
しかし、これがホムンクルスとはね。よくできた人形ではないか。まるで人と見分けがつかないよ。素晴らしい、素晴らしい。こんな魂なき人形にすら魂を与えてしまうほどの莫大なエネルギー。賢者の石の全身ホロロギウム。実に興味深いね。
He's so annoyed.
ネモ、興味を持つのは勝手だけど、姉さんを勝手に使うのは許さない。それは父様復活に欠かせない道具、替えの利かない部品なんだからね。
それは残念。
こうして計画の歯車が揃った以上、今後はだいぶ忙しくなりそうだな。
A throbbing, my empty chest reminds me of my pain. A well-made doll, a tool for the plan, a gear. They continue their conversation as if I'm not even there in plain sight. It's true that I'm just a synthetic existence. Frankly, I'm used to being treated like a subhuman, but no. Even if I am a synthetic existence that was made to accomplish some goal, I am neither a part nor a doll.
はあ？何言ってるの姉さん。ルパンたちと一緒にいたせいで余計な自我でも目覚めたの？僕たちは父様の待望を叶えるための歯車。それでこそ愛される価値が出るんだよ。
Even so, I'm not a thing. I have my own personality and my own will. And Finis, you're the same.
どうも姉さんは自分の立場が分かってないみたいだね。これは計画を早めた方が良さそうだ。
He looks away as I glare at him and quietly mutters to himself.
やっと僕は父様の役に立てるんだ。これでやっと。
I can only wonder what he was going to say next. I continue staring at him intently, chasing after his words that melted into the void. Following day, I spent a sleepless night in the guest room that a Twilight Soldier led me to. I stayed in bed after the sun rises and just stare blankly at the room. My eyes are drawn to a simple table and chest and a painting in a minimalist style. I would assume that Twilight HQ, an intelligence agency first and foremost, wasn't expecting to host a guest, but the indifference of this room does seem to ease my heart. Just can't relax. My gaze drops to my own body. Rather than the casual wear that Victor modified to resist poison, I'm now wearing a dress that resembles my old one. It's a dress that Finis prepared. I don't have any spare casual clothes, so I had no choice but to wear this, but when I wear this dress, I feel like I went back to a time before I met Lupin and the others, and it makes my heart restless. I touch my chest out of anxiety. There I find the beautiful poisonous flower that Father gave to me. Father's revival. I thought about it last night too, but my past self in Wales likely would have helped with the plan without hesitation. The father who loved me, who promised that one day he will return for me. Given the opportunity to bring him back to life, I would have offered myself without a moment of hesitation, just like a silent doll. But I left that mansion. You mustn't know love. Going against Father's warning, I loved the life I spent with everyone. My heart floods with emotions born from the days spent with Lupin and the others. The smile I had to force, my anger, my sadness. Father is not the only one in my heart anymore. To revert back to a doll from this point, I suppose I've already learned too much for that. Those experiences that I have amassed sound a warning that Father's ambitions will ruin the happiness of many people. Right, I can't just obey unconditionally. I stand up from the bed and begin to wonder about the room. What should I do from here? Only Lupin and the others were here. I shake my head to cast that thought aside. They took such good care of me, and yet it was I who left the mansion without telling them. There's no way I can go back now and say that I need their help. Straightening my posture, I throw a small glance towards the door. I'm not sure whether they think I can't or won't run away, but from a cursory glance, there doesn't seem to be any sort of monitoring device in the room, and even the door is unlocked. In that case, should I go outside? And the answer is no, we're going to stay in the room. I take a breath and sit down on the bed. Maybe it's best to just stay put. I'm sure Finis and the others are fully aware that I'm still uncooperative. Rather than risk a tighter surveillance with my recklessness, it would be best for me to lay low and keep them off guard. The most important thing for a thief is to have the patience to find an opportunity.
なかなか興味深い格言だ。アルセーヌ・ルパンの心情かな。
Well, now he knows. His sudden words make me jump, before I realize that a tall old man is standing there.
人形とはいえ、女性に失礼かとも思ったが、ノックをしても返事がなかったのでね。勝手にお邪魔させてもらったよ。
Don't lie to me, I didn't hear a single knock. You meet Alistair, the top executive of Twilight and Finis' subordinate. And according to Van Helsing himself, a man who has significant ties with him as well. I glare at Alistair with a face of clear cautiousness, and he narrows his eyes as if to toy with me.
不意をつかれたというのに、随分と冷静じゃないか。これもバンの教育の賜物かな。
Not just Van Helsing, but all of the others as well. If I am able to keep calm is thanks to them. I can't tell his intention for coming here, but this may actually be convenient for me. I open my mouth to ask him the single question I have on my mind. Alistair, why are you helping with Finis' plan? What do you have to gain if Father is revived? I thought he said single question. He asked him too. Our gazes mingle, and an odd chill shoots through my body as if he's looking straight through me.
君のその質問に私が答える義理はない。ないが、君という存在は面白い。特別に答えてあげよう。
I wonder what he finds curious about me. Alistair chuckles, smiling as if to ascertain something.
私がフィーニスに従う理由。それは、実に単純な理由だよ。私は彼の部下だからね。しがない下働きの身としては、上司の決定に否も何もないだろう。
That was certainly not the case in Van Helsing's route when you killed him. Do you really believe that? I return his brazen answer with a glare, and he laughs and shrugs his shoulders.
思っているさ。思ってはいるが、そうだな。
I think he said in Van Helsing's route he was going with it because it was entertaining. I think, or maybe he wanted to see how the world would end up with his father turning it into what his vision was of the world. And I forgot what his vision was, but I think it was mentioned in Lupin's route, but I don't even know anymore. That was months ago.
それ以外の理由があるとすれば、新しい世界に興味があるというだけさ。アイザックが作り出そうとしている世界にね。
The world that father wants to create.
そう。現代のプロメテウスと呼ばれる彼は、ネオスチームエンジンの開発により、この世界のありさまを一変させた。そんな彼ならば、もう一度この世界を作り直してくれるのではないかと 私はそれに期待しているのだよ。
Recreate the world. Alistair speaks as though he's enjoying himself, but something like that would undoubtedly come with unprecedented pain. The creation of a new world is akin to the destruction of the old one. I can only wonder whether that untold misery is reflected in his eyes.
さて、今度は私の質問の番だ。君こそ、なぜフィーニスについてきた？
Because I wanted to know the whereabouts of father.
本当に、それだけかね。
It looked like he suspects you. As if to probe for the truth, Alistair's dark eyes imprison me. I can't stop myself from backing away from those eyes that for some reason remind me of those of Sholmes. I wonder why.
行方を知りたいだけならば、その目的はもう果たしたと言えるだろう。君も聞いた通り、アイザックは死んだ。もう君がここに残る理由はないはずだ。それでも残っているのは、アイザックを復活させたいからかね。それとも。そう睨まないでくれ。君が何を考えていようとも、それを責めるつもりなどないよ。
You say that as if you know everything I'm thinking.
さて、どうかな。私は年寄りだからね。君のような若者をからかうのが楽しいだけかもしれないよ。いい目をするね、君は。人形であることが実に不思議なくらい。
Alistair smiles. It's by no means good-willed, but it's odd in that I don't sense any malice in it. Do you have any more business with me? He traces his beard with his finger, as if pondering something.
いいえ、もう十分だよ。実に楽しい問答だった。
He's so strange.
では、意地悪な老人はそろそろ退散するとしよう。邪魔をしたね。
With those words, Alistair left the room looking somehow satisfied. A few days pass. During that time, neither Twilight nor Finis made any particular big moves. Twilight headquarters became eerily silent, and by the look of things, time passed with little ado. But surely Finis isn't just sitting around twiddling his thumbs. The silence before the storm, as the saying goes. I'm sure that the plan to revive Father is progressing behind the scenes. As proof of that, I was made to participate in Numa's experiments almost every day.
まさかこの少量でメガジュール単位のエネルギーを発生させるとは。さすがはホロロギウム。世界のエネルギー事情に革新を起こす神のごとき存在だね。
お前の感想はどうでもいいよ。それより姉さんを使えば例の装置も動かせるのか？
無論、もちろん当然だと思う。計画は怖いぐらいに順調だよ。
That's one example of many. Over the past few days, they've been gauging the strength of the poison, logging the state of the horologium, and the like. I've talked with Numa, Finis, and Alistair here and there during that time, but there's one thing that I can be sure of. Beginning with Finis, all of Twilight views me as little but a tool. I'm all but sure of that much. Cardia. I muttered my own name. Unlike St. Germain's mansion, nobody here in Twilight headquarters will call me by my name. No one will treat me as a human. a vessel for the horologium, a homunculus, a tool for father. A sense of self gradually erodes as I begin to internalize this treatment. I am Cardia. I mutter to myself again so that I don't forget it, even if this is just the name of the original's body, or copy. More than anything, I wanted someone to call me by my name, to call me Cardia, to say that I'm not a thing or a monster. What's this? Perhaps it's because I've been in such a deep thought as I walked, but I stopped my feet, finding myself in a pathway that I don't recognize. Then, I can hear someone's voice. A small, distant voice that I wouldn't have heard if not for the dead silence. Drawn to this voice, I continue forward as I follow the sound. I can only wonder how far I've walked. As I arrive at the room in the deepest section, I behold the scene before me. What immediately draws my eyes is the colossal armillary sphere enshrined in the center of the room. It looks as though every one of its gears moves independently of the other, but many gears are interlocked with each other, creating regularly as a whole. It's an enormous map of the night sky, replicating the complex movements of the stars. And at its base, the figure of a boy who looks up at the sphere.
父様、もうすぐだよ。やっと姉さんが来てくれたんだ。これでついに父様が復活する。父様は世界を管理する神になるんだ。
Finis continues to gaze up at the sphere, not noticing my presence. The sight almost has the ephemeral quality, like that of a boy admiring the stars that he'll never be able to reach.
ねえ、父様。僕は役に立ってるでしょ。父様の言うことをよく聞いて、ここまで必死に計画を進めてきて、きっと全部うまくいく。誰にも邪魔なんてさせないから。だから父様、これが終わったら僕を。ねえ、どうして何も答えてくれないの、父様。僕が人形だから、怪物だから。そんなのおかしいじゃないか。同じ人形で怪物の姉さんには愛してるって言ったのに。
A grievous, wavering voice.
それなのに、どうして僕だけ。ねえ、答えてよ、父様。
He sounded like he was angry, perhaps even crying. It was a voice of bottomless sadness.
ああ、そうか。今の父様はいくら答えたくてもまだ答えられないんだったね。待ってて、父様。もうすぐだから。
I couldn't bear to listen. I turned on my heels without making a sound. At first, I considered calling out to him, but I couldn't do it. My little brother, who stares up at the sphere as he talks to it, as though he's convinced it's father. He bore a miserable visage, different from any he's shown me before. I had no words to console him. My shadow reflected faintly on the floor of the dim hallway. Even while returning to my own room, the way Finis looked was imprinted in my mind. How he talked to our formless father, looking up at the sphere as if to pray for salvation. He looked like a child who had lost the one person he depended on. Finis. Even now, I could still see it in my mind's eye. Lupin's smiley face telling me not to worry. Impy's jolly face yelling out, "I love you." Van Helsing's face saying it could be worse from the edge of his lips. Victor's face that tells me, "Don't worry, it'll be fine," as he squints his eyes. Saint Germain's face smiling and telling me that it's alright for me to be here. But did Finis have people in his life like them? To tell them that they love him, that he's human? How sad it must have been for him if he had nobody like that. Huh? The Twilight Soldier was standing there when I opened my eyes. My body stiffened. Perhaps because they are trained as an intelligence agency, soldiers of Twilight seldom speak. At the very least, for one of them to talk to me on their own was definitely a first. You have business with me. This sounds like Lupin. Is it Lupin?
何事も疑ってかかれっていう俺の教えを実践してくれてるのは師匠としては嬉しい限りだけどよ。
I knew it. I did that voice. He puts his hands over his mask and cape and swings his arm as if to tear them away.
よう、久しぶりだな、カルディア。
I missed you, Lupin. Lupin.
喜んでくれるのは嬉しいが、嗅ぎつけられたくねえ。静かに頼むぜ。
I put my hand over my mouth hastily. After changing his costume in an instant like a magic trick, Lupin studies our surroundings carefully. Lupin, how did you find me?
たとえどれだけ離れていようと、夜空の月のごとく美しい我らがレディの輝きを見失うことなどありえませんとも。
I thought he was going to say the MP put a tracking device on her because he did that in another route. But no, this is much more romantic and Lupin-like to say.
なんて言えりゃかっこいいんだがな。このノートのおかげだよ。
How dare you, you ruined it. I was all happy and giddy and then you just had to ruin it. Dang it. What's this?
アイザックの手記だ。お前がいなくなった後、もしやと思ってウェールズの屋敷に行ったんだが、そこでこのノートを見つけた。悠長に読み上げる時間はねえからパパッと説明しちまうが、ここにはアイザックの狙う計画の一部始終が記されてる。一度死んで復活を遂げた後、自らの肉体を捨てて機械の神となり、神への戦いを挑む計画。計画名、コードリアライズ。
A cold tingling sensation ran through my brain upon hearing those words. I know it. I've heard those words before. On the bed, or perhaps in that glass tube filled with solution. Father's Book of Genesis, Code Realize.
その名前はな、俺が追いかけてる黄昏のテロ計画と全く同じ名前だ。
If it's not just a coincidence, then is Finis planning an act of terrorism?
さて、どうだかな。キーとなるのがお前だってこと以外、これを読んでも全貌はつかめねえ。とはいえ、ろくなことにならねえのは容易に想像がつく。
Lupin reaches his hand out to me.
本当は黙って姿を消したことに文句の一つも言ってやりてえが、詳しい話は後だ。
I know, get her out first.
逃げ道は確保してやる。さっさと行こうぜ。
I stare at his hand, Lupin's large, gentle hand, the precious hand that led me to the outside world. If I take this hand, he'll probably steal me away no matter how far. He'd deliver me from the suffering and sadness, track down Finis' plan, put a stop to Fowler's revival, and then he'd guide me to a future where Minnie will be happy. Of that I have no doubts, but in that future, one child won't be happy. a little brother who clings to father all alone. I'm sorry, Lupin, I can't go with you yet.
え、おいおい、何言ってんだよ。俺たちに黙って姿を消しちまったから戻ってきづらいってことか？だったら心配はいらねえよ。どいつもこいつも怒るどころかずーっとお前のことを心配してたんだし。
No, that's not it. I have unfinished business here. The boy who looked like he was holding back tears as he left. I can't just leave him be.
何があった？今のお前の方がずっと泣きそうじゃねえか。
After studying my face intently, Lupin scratches his head and lets out a long sigh. He takes a small device from his breast pocket and tosses it towards me. Is this Empy's Aether transmitter?
ご名答。ついでに言うと、あいつが超小型に改良した最新作だ。何かあってもなくても、これで定期的にこっちへ連絡をよこしな。
Huh.
心情的には絶対反対なんだが、黄昏の動きを探るのに内部に協力者がいるってのは大きなメリットだからな。
Then you'll...
そんな決意を込めた顔されたらダメとは言えねえよ。ただし、お前が本当に危ないときは、お前の意思なんて関係ねえ。俺がかっさらう。いいな。
Right, thanks, Lupin. I'm sorry that I'm always such a nuisance.
バーカ。自分で決めた道なら謝る必要なんてねえんだよ。頼りにしてるぜ、カルディア。お前は俺の大切な、かわいいかわいい一番弟子なんだからよ。
He's so cute. He grinned wearing the Twilight Soldier costume once again and ran off waving his hand. Really? I really have to wonder how that man always seems to know exactly the right words to say to me. He has a way with words. Cardia. Clinging tightly to that name, I see him off, wishing for a time when I can tell my brother about this warm feeling.
Ho-ho! カルディアちゃん、また声が聞けて嬉しいよ。君という太陽がいない間、この男だらけのむっさい空間がどれだけの闇に覆われていたことか。
Poor Impy. Alright, I'm sorry.
インピーの感想はともかく、今後も定期通信は怠らないようにね。そこは敵の本拠地なんだ。絶対に無理はしないことを心がけて。
幹部のアレスターという男は信用できる。何かあれば奴を頼るといい。
If anything has told us in the last 5 routes of the previous game, if there's one person you can't trust, it's Alistair. You cannot trust Alistair. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Victor Van Helsing. I'll make sure to contact you regularly. Oh right, I don't hear his voice. Is Saint Germain there today?
伯爵か？伯爵ならばここのところ毎日のように屋敷を留守にしているぞ。
He's doing idea stuff.
たまに戻っては来るようだが、最近はあまり顔を合わせる機会がないな。
I see. It would have been nice to hear his voice too. Alright, I'm going to cut the signal. I'll talk to you all again soon. Phew. After finishing the call with my friends, I carefully tuck the transmitter into an inner pocket to ensure I don't melt it. A few days have passed since Lupin sneaked into the cathedral. During that time, I've been contacting Lupin and the others daily without exception. The first time the call connected, they were upset and worried about my sudden disappearance. Now that I'm able to contact them, though, it feels more like I'm delivering survival reports. As for my daily life, I'm just forced to tag along with Nemo's experiments daily. Frankly, my reports are usually that there's not much to report. No matter what I'm going to do, I have to talk to Finis first. Although doing so will most certainly be the most difficult part of all. I can already see his unwilling face in my mind if I try talking with him. That's why I've decided to ask Alistair, the only one I can seem to talk to, to help find a time when I could talk to Finis. Just when I made up my mind.
Good morning! 目覚めはいかがかね?
I didn't hear Ohio. Isn't that good morning? Whatever. A booming voice echoes grandly through the room, assaulting my ears. I know, right? Jumping in without even knocking was none other than the world's noisiest scientist himself. Yes, thanks to your barging in, I doubt I'll need coffee.
ほっほー、バッチリかね。そうだろう、そうだろうと思う。私の声はインスピレーションを刺激するともっぱらの評判だからね。
I cannot wait until you go away. It inspires my eardrums to cry out in pain at least. Anyway, what do you need? Is it time to analyze the horologium again?
そうしたいのは山々だが、今日は別件なのだよ。さあ、ついてきため。It's tea time!
Excuse me. Go have your tea. I think it's with Alistair though, isn't it? The amber colored liquid wavers gently in the white porcelain teacup. The tea stand atop the table contains sandwiches filled with jam and a pile of scones. The elegant phonograph fills the room with its music. Violet HQ, the intelligence agency of those who single-handedly undertake the dark deeds of the British government. At a glance, it appears that a very elegant tea room was prepared in the underground section of the cathedral. Oh, I forgot Finis was there too. Elegant indeed, and front and center sits Finis, a sour look on his face. Alistair sits behind him with Nemo and his big grin on the opposite side.
さあ、遠慮せず飲むといい。今日はおそらく毒も入っていないから安心したまえ。
Maybe tomorrow I'll be poisoned. Probably.
黄昏では日々の緊張感を保つために仲間内で出される茶に時折毒が混入されているのだよ。
What?
適当なことを言うな、アレスター。お前は真顔で嘘をつくから迷惑なんだよ。
嘘はよろしくないね。私のように正直に生きたまえ。
お前は自分に正直なだけだろ。
存在としては嘘か冗談の塊だがね。
Watching the vaguely tense conversation in the corner of my eye, I put the teacup to my lips and as I quelled my nervousness. I could tell that the tea Alistair made for us was exactly a high-quality one, but due to the situation, I could barely savor the taste at all.
どうかね、この茶葉は。東のセイロンで栽培が始まった品種でね。まだまだ荒削りだが、なかなか味わい深い。
Yeah, if I was in her situation, I would be like, "Do you want to talk about tea?" Okay. It's quite good, I think. It comes in a close second after Impy's tea.
ほう、我が友にして空かけるライバルは紅茶にも精通しているのかね。
Not just tea, Impy is great at cooking in general. He even managed to get compliments out of Lupin and Saint Germain.
見た目の割に多彩だね、彼は。料理の腕については、ヴァンにも見習ってほしいものだ。
彼が料理上手なのは当然だろうとも。所詮料理など調合の一種だからね。
That might be a stretch. Though I can still envision Impy red in the face and pitching a fit.
しかし、インピーバービキューもまだまだ甘い。 かくいう私はさらに一歩進んだ域に到達してしまっているのだよ。
Meaning?
へへへ、これを見たまえ。これは私が開発した完全栄養食。
たった1本飲むだけで3日未満不眠不休で働くことが可能となる
夢の薬なのだよ。
What did he do? Drink some helium tea?
ちなみに試しに飲ませた兵士は3日後失神して生死の境をさまよったがね。
Speaking of poison, I shake my head lightly, and then Finis, who sat across from me, pours several spoonfuls of sugar into his teacup, seemingly in a bad mood.
ところでアレスター、この状況は一体何の真似かな。
I know I'd be in a bad mood too.
僕は姉さんと仲良くお茶なんて心の底から願い下げなんだけど。
そう言わないでくれ、フィニス。君も甘いものは好きだろう。それに加えて、この茶会は彼女の提案なのだからね。
It wasn't.
姉さん？
Wait, I never proposed any such thing.
おや、フィニスと話す機会が欲しいと言ったのは君だっただろう。
I did say that, but I never thought it would be like this, though. Even when I toss Alistair a spiteful look, he sips his tea as if it's not his problem.
ああ、そう。なら、もう帰っていい？僕は姉さんと話すことなんてないし、姉さんだってそうでしょ。
You're blushing slightly as you say that.
現にさっきから聞いてれば、インピーの料理だのルパンがどうしただの。くだらない話ばっかりじゃないか。
フィニス、君はひょっとして自分は理解できないルパンたちの話をされるのが苛立たしいのかね。
は？
He sounds like Ryuki when he says that. Does that mean you're being sulky?
はあ？姉さんの頭は本当におめでたいね。あいつらと暮らしてた短い期間で想像以上に毒されてたことに呆れただけだよ。いいかい姉さん。姉さんは余計なことを考える必要はない。父様のことだけを考えればいいんだ。
I stare back quietly at Finis. It almost sounds like he's trying to convince me. No matter the cost.
ああ、どうしてもだよ。
A family besides father, I can't even think about my little brother.
くだらない。何度も言った通り、僕たちは父様の子供たちを元にしただけのただの人形だ。だから便宜上姉さんと呼んでるだけ。人形同士が兄弟関係を語るなんてそれこそおままごとと同じことさ。
You still look embarrassed though.
人形だと自分で言うのなら不機嫌にならなくともいいのでは。どうも君は矛盾しているように見えるね。
うるさいよアレスター。
Oh my goodness. Slamming the teacup on the table, the remaining drops hovering in the air with his force. Every meeting with Finis came with a tense atmosphere where the slightest disturbance could mean incurring his wrath. Inside the train during the hijack, at the underground facility where that terrible truth slept, I felt a hatred and madness from him that those encounters had sent a chill down my spine. But he's not the same now as he was then. For a moment he looks like a child who matches his age.
何を笑ってるのさ。気色悪い。
Giving me the creeps. Sorry, my mind was wandering. I was just thinking we're siblings, but your body doesn't contain poison.
それは当然じゃないか。その毒はホロロギウムに適合した姉さんだけの特権だ。
Special privilege?
ああ、特権だよ。そのおかげで父様に愛してもらえる。それが特権以外の何だっていうの。僕には決して向けられない笑顔が姉さんには向けられる。僕には向けられない笑顔が。
Why he hates her so much. His teeth makes a grinding sound. My poison, a special privilege. I've been through so much because of this cursed body. But before those words can leave my mouth, Nemo casually butts in.
フィニス。君はアイザック先生に愛されるためだけに計画を遂行しようとしているのかね？
そうだよ。何を今さら。
なるほど。ではきっと先生と君の道はいずれ分かたれることになるだろうね。
どういう意味だ？
何、簡単なことだと思う。アイザック先生が歩まれているのは孤高にして崇高な科学の道だが、君は先生の姿だけを追い求め、あの方が歩んでいく先を見ていない。なれば君が追いついた時にはすでに先生はさらに先に行ってしまった後、それではやがて両者の道は離れていくだろうね。つまり端的に言えば先生は君のことなどしがにもかけぬということだね。
ふざけるな！お前に何がわかる！僕の道は父様の道！父様の道は僕の道だ！それが分かれるわけがない！
なぜ怒るのかね？私は見解を述べただけだが。
Finis, calm down. I quickly stop Finis as he makes a fist. His face is already twisted to the extent that I'm afraid he'll shoot to kill. In my attempt to change the subject, I say what immediately pops into my head. That's right. There was something I've been meaning to ask you for a while. My body has this poison. Is there anything different about yours? I have poison and you have immortality? And Helsing once said that he shot through your head, and I saw Saint Germain stab you, but you're still alive. Why? He's gotta calm down.
姉が猛毒の怪物なんだから、弟が不死の怪物でもおかしくないよ。
He turns his back as if to signal the end of the tea party.
そろそろ準備も整ってきたことだし、いいよ、見せてあげる。どうせもうすぐ何もわからなくなるんだ。それくらいは教えてあげるよ。
And then, Finis guides me to the deepest part of St. Paul's Cathedral, the place where he spoke his sad words to a father that could not be seen. It was that room. Enshrined in the center of the room, just as before, is this colossal glowing armillary sphere. Around it are countless gears that overlap again and again, drawing a geometric pattern. What is this? What is this machine?
あれとはご挨拶だね。僕と父様の本体に向かって。
main body.
そう。そして僕の不死身の秘密でもある。まあ、こまごまと説明してもいいんだけど。見てもらった方が早いかな。
I hear a voice behind me and whip around reflexively. There I see Finis cracking a subtle smile. Finis, how did you get behind?
やれやれ。姉さんは鈍いな。まだ気づかないの？
Looking to the new voice, I see another Finis approaching. It's no illusion. From behind the sphere, from the corner of the room, the shadow of the pillar, the outside hall. Many appear, one after another, and they are all Finis. Oh my goodness, so many. Before I even realize it, my entire line of sight is filled with countless copies of Finis. What is this? Which one's the real one?
誰がだって何か勘違いをしているようだけど、これは全部本物だよ。僕たちは皆、父さんの手で作られたフィーニスという名の生体端末。僕たち一人一人が経験した記憶は、この天球儀により全ての僕に共有される。そう。ここにいる僕たち全てが同じ記憶を持つフィーニスなんだよ。
When we met in the train, the encounter at the laboratory, the massacre in Wales, the moment during our tea party, those memories belong to all of us. That's what they mean to tell me. Even the Finis whom I was drinking tea with only a bit ago. Once he mixes in, there's no way for me to tell the difference any longer. What is this?
素晴らしくて声も出ない。これも全部父様の英字があってこそ。さっきも触れたけど、この天球儀にはね、僕だけじゃなく父様の精神も眠っている。姉さんのホロギウムが復活の鍵として消化された暁には、ここに眠る父様は祭壇を迎えるんだ。そう、この器である僕の肉体に宿り、未来永劫生き続ける神となるんだよ。素晴らしいでしょ？僕たちの父様が永遠の存在になる。こんなにも素晴らしい偉業に僕たちは関わることができる。姉さんだって嬉しいでしょ？
The harsh resonance of the cacophony of laughter fills the room. A fearsome scene that laughs in the face of God. I couldn't stand it anymore and shouted out as I strained my voice. Creating this many Finises? Creating me with a body of deadly poison. What does Father plan to do once he's revived? As I shouted, breathing roughly, the Finis quietly tell me.
かつて獣同然の生活だった人間は、火を与えられ、それを活用することで、動物の枠を外れて文明を持ち始めた。やがて、科学が発展していくにつれて、人間たちが手にするものも進歩していく。木から石器へ、石器から鉄器へ、陶石から弓へ、弓から銃へ。人の歴史は武器の発展とともに、人の歴史は死と騒乱とともに。だから父様は決めたんだよ。天才的頭脳と朽ちない機械の体、 そして永遠に動き続ける心臓を持った自らが神になることで、永遠に続く戦争で地上を覆い尽くし、無限に科学を進歩させることをね。
Endless war? That's not right. Father wasn't satisfied with just us, so he means to use everyone on Earth as a doll, as pawns in his war? That's horrible.
うるさいよ、姉さん。姉さんの綺麗事にはもううんざりだ。少し早いけど、黙らせてあげる。
Finis held out a pendant with a large glistening gem before me. I feel a cold sweat run down my back as I gaze into the scarlet brilliance that seems to serve a purpose opposite of my gem. My instinct gives me a clear signal. This is dangerous.
このペンダントにはね、姉さんの持つホロロギウムを変性させる効果があるんだ。人体の中で成熟したホロロギウムは、やがて錬金術の到達点、賢者の石へと生まれ変わる。その際にまき散らされる猛毒はあまりにも膨大で、きっとロンドンを死の都に変えるだろうけど、そんなのは些細な問題だ。賢者の石によって完成された無限のエネルギーを得て、父様はこの世界を新たに作り直す。さあ、コードリアライズの始まりだ。
I can feel it. Ah! Something inside me beats. Something hot like magma begins to flow through my veins. Something entirely inhuman gradually encroaches on my body, and sound rings out as it begins to recreate me. I begin to squirm violently, fearing that I'm losing myself. No!
なんでそんな顔をするのさ。もっと喜んでよ、姉さん。これで父様の願いが叶う。僕たちはようやく愛してもらえる。だからちょっとだけ苦しいけど我慢してね。
The way he just changes from crazy to gentle, it's creepy. His hand repeatedly strokes my hair, as if to say that even he who hates me so much could forgive me now. He doesn't forgive you. My vision gets blurry and color starts to fade from my world. I wonder if this is how I'll die. This is the thought runs through my paralyzed mind.
さあ、姉さん、もうすぐだよ。もうす。
Without any warning, as if suddenly cut off, the cacophonous laughter stops abruptly. And then they begin to fall in place, one after another, like marionettes that had their strings cut. What? Even the pain in my chest, my agony, they are all gone like they were never there. Goodness? I pick myself up and shake my brother, who stopped moving right beside me. Looking around once more, none of the others seemed to be moving. They were just a collection of Finis rag dolls laying with limp limbs, laid out heedlessly like corpses. What could have possibly happened? Then I noticed a dim blue light emitting from the edge of my peripheral vision. What? A little more than a whimper came out, but I couldn't help it. Right now, before me, my one and only little brother moved. It was looking towards me, painted in a pale light.
長い眠りだった。
I immediately realized, no. The face that slowly looked up, the voice that quietly spoke were the same. But I can tell instinctively, this person isn't Finis. in that case. Are you, Father?
Soda, Cardia. 我が愛しい娘よ。今私はこのうつろなる器の実を通してお前を見ている。お前に語りかけている。ああ、こうしてお前と言葉を交わす日をどれだけ待ち望んでいたか。
Father's hand caresses my cheek. He doesn't seem to mind at all, even as the hideous sound of his skin burning resounds. Father, your hand.
何も問題はない。代わりの利く体がいくら焼け落ちようとも、私にとっては愛しいお前にこうして触れられることの方がずっと大切なことなのだから。
My sweet, gentle father's words that I just can't justify being happy. The things that he trampled all over in order to show his love towards me, his indifference towards Finis. Now that I know what lurks behind his words.
本当はもっと言葉を交わしたい。この体が何体腐れ落ちようともお前を抱きしめてやりたい。だがまだだ。まだ時は満ちていない。お前はまだ賢者の意志として未完成。私の目覚めは一時的なものに過ぎない。
Father whom I've longed for, his words of affection that I've longed for. But for some reason, all I have to offer in return is my sadness and anger. I slap Father's hand away and take a step back. Father, why? Why did you make so many Finises? Why did you create so many Finises? He really is no different from a doll like that. Both Finis and me were alive.
何を勘違いしている。フィーニスから聞いているはずだ。私が愛しているのはカルディアだけだ。お前自身の意志などノイズに過ぎない。
A clear rejection, denying me of my very self. This man probably has no intention of acknowledging me in the slightest. His words were colder than ice, as though the gentle voice from before was a lie.
そしてフィーニスは顔が同じだけで面影すらもない人形。もはや愛することもないだろう。
What? A sudden anger welled up in me. Do you have any idea how much he, Finis? The father, Isaac, seemed to be ignoring my words. Then he let out a sigh and muttered,
ああ、時間切れのようだ。また会おう、愛しい我が娘。お前がもたらす創生が来る時よ。私はここで待ち続けているよ。
Wait, I'm not done. He smiles softly at the Cardia who is not me, and, just as before he crumples to the floor, I hurry over to help him up, and he slowly opens his eyes. Finis?
ああ、わかる。わかるよ。父様が僕の中にいたんだね。
You know, I've always wondered what those two blue dots on, like, his forehead is. I don't think it ever explains what that is.
こ こまで目覚めが進んだなら、あとはもうおわずかだ。近いうちに父様は完全に目覚めることができる。
How how can you be so calm about this? Didn't you hear anything Father said? That man doesn't care about us.
父様が何か言っていたの？
What?
ああ、言ってなかったっけ？父様の意識が顕在化しているときは僕の意識はないんだ。不要だからね。だから父様がいたということが分かっても、何を話されたかまでは僕は知らない。父様から何か聞いたの？羨ましいな。僕も聞きたかったよ。
A chill goes down my spine. Does that mean if Father revives completely, what will happen to you?
僕？それはもちろん意識もろとも完全に消えるだろうね。だって父様と一つになるんだから。それは姉さんだって同じだよ。賢者の石が完成した暁には父様と一つになって消えるんだ。
Why? Why do you take life for granted? I stare at my own hands. I recall the dear person whom this body's poison killed. If you die, then love, kindness, warmth, you won't feel any of those. I grab Finis' arm firmly, as if to urge him. I can't share my sisterly warmth with him with my poisonous flesh, but even so, perhaps I can at least share a little warmth through my gloves.
やめろ!
But Finis displays an emotion of disgust and shoves me away.
僕を惑わせて計画を遅らせようとしてもそうはいかない。
No,
何を言っても無駄だよ。最後の計画はもう始まったんだ。姉さんはこれから少しずつ賢者の石に変わっていく。そして全てが終わるんだ。
But words would even reach him now. No matter how much I strain my mind, nothing comes to me.
失礼するよ。盛り上がっているところ悪いが、招かれざる客人が来たようだ。
Is it Lupin? Alistair quietly shows himself.
客？
Is it Victoria? Could it be Lupin and the others?
残念だが違うな。初めて見る相手だが、
Oh.
どうにも手強いようでね。
Is it Hansel?
わかった。迎撃する。計画の邪魔は誰にもさせない。
Perhaps because his consciousness is amassed as one, the many Finishes begin to disperse even without orders.
姉さんには僕を一人つけるから部屋に戻っておとなしくしているといい。と言ってもどうせ編成の影響でまともに動けやしないだろうけど。
Ah, wait. Before Finis leaves, I take a handkerchief from my pocket with trembling hands and slowly hold it out to him. Finish your hand. At least use this in place of a bandage.
せっかくの心遣いだが、やけどに直接布を当てるのはおすすめしないよ。より悪化させたいのなら、話は別だがね。
Sorry.
そもそも治療なんて不要だよ。あれだけ僕が大量にいるんだ。不都合があれば交換すればいい。
While I hang my head, I look at Finis's right hand. His hand that had been hideously burned while touching my cheek, creating a painful-looking mark.
なんで無傷の姉さんがそんなに苦しそうなわけ？
You won't understand.
鬱陶しいんだよ、そういうの。
With an irritated look on his face, he snatches the handkerchief from my hand and turns away. He actually took it.
これはとりあえず受け取っておくよ。所詮姉さんの自己満足に過ぎないけど、その方がその鬱陶しい顔を見なくて済みそうだからね。
You know, you just want to make her feel better.
行くぞ、アレスター。
Finis then begins to walk away, his hand injured from my poison dangling at his side. Chapter 3, Desire. I was hoping it was going to end soon because I have to go pick up my daughter from band. And that's perfect because supposedly they got there like 15 minutes ago and she's got to unload the truck. So like I mentioned in the description of the first video, this is obviously not a romantic love between siblings because I don't think I would enjoy that or even read that. So Finis is softening up, even though after reading everything that he's done so far, it's kind of hard to like him. But I don't know. He worked on me. He definitely got me to like him at the end, especially during like the third disc where he's like cooking in an apron and all that. So but yeah, just a few more left. And then my upload plan is to be 2 9-rip to 1 Cupid Parasite. Kind of like how it was whenever I was doing 2 games last time. The main game is going to have 2 uploads and the fan disc is just going to have 1. So Code Realize is going to come out on Mondays. As long as everything works out, Code Realize will come out on Mondays. There's only chapters 3, 4, and 5, and probably the endings. I think, yeah, there's endings. So 4 more episodes for Finis, and then we'll be done with that. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.